Working
And we're
now.
live.
Hell
Hello.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
What up? We are
Welcome to our
live.
live read of Pericles by one William Shakespeare.
Who was smart? This is the club. We are awaiting two cast members.
We
Who
figured we
are
could start anyway.
so is Maggie coming, Bridget? What's up
Yeah,
with that?
she said she'll be here soon, and I said hurry. So that's the
Yeah, I feel
extent
like
of our...
okay, and Mar said she's having technical difficulties. So let me look at the cast list real quick so we can divvy
Yes.
um okay, hold on. I just got
Um,
so many the problem is she's having like issues, she said. She said it's like a
maybe she needs
medieval.
to re-download Zoom.
Okay, let me bear with us, everyone. It would not be Bard Book Club if we did not have technical difficulties, obviously. Okay, let me look at the cast list, who everyone's playing. Okay,
Yeah,
so Mar is playing Tyza, so if Mar can't, I'm gonna play Tyza, and she's playing
I could
Leon.
do it.
What can you do?
I could do one of them, yeah.
Okay, I'll do Leon, and then
How do you
you know,
spell that? Just so I...
it's Leone. And then oh, here's Maggie. Hell yeah. Thanks everyone for bearing with this madness. Here she comes. Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. Hi, you're muted, Maggie. You're muted. Is she gonna unmute? Are we?
I don't know if she can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Maggie, can you hear? Everyone, just thank you so much, everyone who's bearing with us in the live right now. Okay.
Sorry, we are chaotic.
It's a mess. It's chaotic.
It's
It's a
okay.
day.
We can start.
It's a post-election vibe right now, the energy. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and start, and we'll just
Here we go.
we'll just see where the night takes us, you know. So, Pericles, which some people have argued it's Shakespeare's worst play. I don't think that's true though, because we already did Henry IV Part 2. So,
Yeah.
not sure how it could get worse, but we'll see.
Well, part of it wasn't
doesn't
written by
join.
him, so.
Well, yeah, so maybe. So yeah, Mar doesn't join. We'll hop in on her roles. She's having troubles. Let me close out Discord so we all don't hear like the ding, ding, ding of it every 5 minutes. Okay, so other than all of this chaos, is everyone ready?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, real quick, everyone say like the you're gonna play. So Simon, what are you doing?
I'm going to be reading for Pericles, Lord of Tarsus, Lord of Pentapolis, and various other roles.
I will be reading Gower and other folks. Bridget, what are you doing?
I am Marina, Esconsis, Dionysa, Simonides, and random people in the background.
Michelle, who are you reading for?
I am Thaliard and others.
Percy, what about you?
I am Helicanus, Lord Caramon, Bolt, and others.
Austin, what about you?
I am Antoniochus, something like that, and others, most importantly, daughter.
Yes, and our newest cast member, Maggie. Who are you reading for? Oh, Mars here. Maggie, you're muted. You have to hit the mic. Okay, there you go. Maggie, who are you reading for?
We cannot hear you.
Can't hear you, Maggie. Okay, try leaving and then coming back, and it should work. Okay, we're really excelling today.
Really pros.
Mar, welcome. Mar's here. Mar, no, you're good. It's a whole kind of night. Mar, who are you reading for?
Okay, I'm reading for Thaisa and for Leonine and probably others. So.
Wonderful. And Maggie's reading a plethora of people. We're all reading people because wrote too many characters. So let's just go. It'll be chaotic as it always is. And obviously, I'm reading stage directions and I will forget to read them at least twice because that's how this works. So take a drink every time I forget to read the stage directions. Okay. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right,
Sure.
let's get Shakespearean up in here. Okay, Pericles by Shakespeare and probably somebody else. Act 1, prologue. Enter Gower, me, before the palace of Antioch. To sing a song that old was sung from ashes ancient Gower is come, assuming man's infirmities to glad your ear and please your eyes. It hath been sung at festivals on ember eves and holy ales, and lords and ladies in their lives have read it for restoratives. The purchase is to make men glorious, et bonum cor and serious emilius. If you, born in these latter times, when wits more ripe, accept thy rhymes, and that to hear an old man sing may to your wishes pleasure bring. I life would wish, and that I might waste it for you like taper light. This Antioch then, Antiochus the Great, built up this city for his chiefest seat, the fairest in all Syria. I tell you what mine authors say, this king unto him took a fear, who died and left a female heir. So buxom, blithe, and full of face, as heaven had lent her grace, with whom the father liking took, and her to incest did provoke. Bad child, worse father, to entice his own. To evil should be done by none, but custom what they begin was with long use account no sin. The beauty of this sinful dame made many princes thither frame, to seek her as a bedfellow, in marriage pleasures playfellow. Which to prevent he made a law, to keep her still and men in awe, that whoso asked her for his wife, his riddle told not, lost his life. So for her many a wight did die, as yon grim looks to testify. What now ensues, to the judgment of your eye, I give my cause, who best can justify. Exits. Scene 1, Antioch, a room in a palace. Enter Antiochus, Prince Pericles, and followers.
Young Prince of Tyre, you have at large received the danger of the task you undertake.
I have, Antiochus, and with a soul emboldened with the glory of her praise, I think death no hazard in this enterprise.
Bring in our daughter, clothed like a bride, for the embracements even of Jove himself, at whose conception till Lucina reigned. Nature this dowry gave, to glad her presence. The Senate house of planets all did sit, to knit in her the best perfections.
Music, enter the daughter of Antiochus.
Sorry that we were live.
See where she comes, apparelled like the spring, graces her subjects, and her thoughts the king. Of every virtue gives renown to men. Her face the book of praises, where is read nothing but curious pleasures, as from thence sorrow were ever raised, and testy wrath could never be her mild companion. You gods that made me man and sway in love, that have inflamed desire in my breast, to taste the fruit of yon celestial tree, or die in the adventure, be my helps, as I am son and servant to your will, to compass such a boundless happiness.
Prince Pericles.
That would be son to great Antiochus.
Before thee stands this fair Hesperides, with golden fruit but dangerous to be touched, for death like dragons here affright thee hard. Her face like heaven enticed thee to view, her countless glory, which desert must gain, and which without desert, because thine eye presumes to reach, all thy whole heap must die. Yon sometimes famous princes like myself, drawn by report, adventurous by desire, tell thee, with speechless tongues and semblance pale, that without covering save yon field of stars. Here they stand martyrs slain in Cupid's wars, and with dead cheeks advise thee to desist, for going on death's net, whom none resist.
Antiochus, I thank thee, who hath taught my frail morality to know itself, and by those fearful objects prepared this body, like to them, to what I must, for death remembered should be like a mirror, who tells us life's but breath, to trust it error. I'll make my will then, and as sick men do, who know the world, see heaven, but feeling woe, gripe not at earthly joys, as erst they did. So I bequeath a happy peace to you, and all good men, as every prince should do. My riches to the earth from whence they came, but my unspotted fire of love to you. Thus ready for the way of life or death, I wait the sharpest blow, Antiochus.
Scorning advice, read the conclusion then, which read and not expounded, 'tis discreed. As these before thee, thou thyself shalt bleed. Of all said yet, mayest thou prove prosperous. Of all said yet, I wish thee happiness.
Like a bold champion, I assume the list, nor ask advice of any other thought, but faithfulness and courage.
He reads the riddle.
I am no viper, yet I feed on mother's flesh, which did me breed. I sought a husband in which labor. I found that kindness in a father. He father's son and husband mild. I mother wife and yet his child. How they may be and yet in two, as you will love and resolve it you. Sharp physic is the last, but oh, you powers that give heaven countless eyes to view men's acts, why cloud they not their sights perpetually? If this be true, which makes me pale to read it. Fair glass of light, I loved you and could still.
Takes hold of the hand of the daughter of Pericles.
Were not this glorious casket stored with ill, but I must tell you now, my thoughts revolt, for he's no man of whom perfections wait that, knowing sin within, will touch the gate. You are fair, vile, and in your sense the strings, who fingered to make man this lawful music, would draw heaven down and all the gods to hearken, but being played upon before your time, hell only danceth at so harsh a chime. Good sooth, I care not for you.
Prince Pericles, touch not upon thy life, for that's an article within our law. As dangerous as the rest, your time's expired. Either expound now, or receive your sentence.
Great king, few love to hear the sins they love to act. 'Twould braid yourself too near for me to tell it. Who has the book of all that monarchs do? He's more secure to keep it shut than shown. For vice repeated like this, the wandering wind blows dust in the other's eye to spread itself. And yet the end of all is bought thus dear. The breath is gone, and the sore eyes see clear. To stop the air would hurt them. The blind moles casts copped hills towards heaven. To tell the earth is thronged by man's oppression, and the poor worm doth die for it. Kings are earth's gods. In vice their laws, their will. And if Jove stray, who dare say Jove doth ill? It is enough, you know, and it is fit. What being known grows worse, to smother it. All love the womb that their first being bred. Then give my tongue like leave to love my head.
Heaven, that I had thy head, he has found the meaning, but I will glose him, young Prince of Tyre, though by the tenor of our strict edict, your exposition misinterpreting, might we proceed to cancel of your days, yet hope, succeeding from so fair a tree, as your fair self doth tune us otherwise. 40 days longer we do respite you, if by which time our secret be undone, this mercy shows will joy in such a son. And until then your entertain shall be, as doth befit our honor and your worth.
Exit all but Pericles.
How courtesy would seem to cover sin, when what is done is like an hypocrite, the which is good in nothing but in sight. If it be true that I interpret false, then were it certain you were not so bad as with foul incest to abuse your soul, where now you're both a father and a son, by your untimely claspings with your child, which pleasure fits an husband, not a father, and she an eater of her mother's flesh, by the defiling of her parents' bed. And both like serpents are, who though they feed on sweetest flowers, yet they poison breed. And talk farewell, for wisdom sees those men blush not in actions blacker than the night, will shun no course to keep them from the light. One sin I know, another doth provoke. Murder's as near to lust as flame to smoke. Poison and treason are the hands of sin, aye, and the targets to put off the shame. Then lest my lie be cropped to keep you clear, by flight I'll shun the danger which I fear.
Exit, re-enter Antiochus.
He hath found the meaning for which we mean to have his head. He must not live to trumpet forth my infamy, nor tell the world Antiochus something doth sin in such a loathed manner, and therefore instantly this prince must die. For by his fall my honor must keep high. Who attends us there?
Enter Tylard.
Doth your highness call?
Tylard, you are of our chamber, and our mind partakes. Her private actions to your secrecy, and for your faithfulness we will advance you. Tylard, behold, here's poison, and here's gold. We hate the Prince of Tyre, and thou must kill him. It fits thee not to ask the reason why, because we bid it. Say, is it done?
My lord, 'tis done.
Enough.
Enter messenger.
Let your breath cool yourself, telling your haste.
My lord, Prince Pericles is fled. Exits.
God damn it. As thou wilt live, fly after, and like an arrow shot from a well-experienced archer hits the mark, his eye doth level at, so thou never return, unless thou say, Prince Pericles is dead.
My lord, if I can get him within my pistol's length, I'll make him sure enough. So farewell to you, your highness.
Tylard, adieu.
Exit Tylard.
Till Pericles be dead, my heart can lend no succor to my head.
Exits. Scene 2, Tyre, a room in the palace. Enter Pericles.
Let none disturb us. Why should this change of thoughts? The sad companion, dull-eyed, melancholy, be my so used a guest as not an hour. In the day's glorious walk or peaceful night, the tombs where grief should sleep can breed me quiet. Here pleasures court mine eyes, and mine eyes shun them, and danger, which I feared, is at Antioch, whose aim seems far too short to hit me here. Yet neither pleasures art can joy my spirits, nor yet the other's distance comfort me. Then it is thus, the passions of the mind that have their first conception by misdread, have after nourishment and life by care, and what was first but fear, what might be done, grows elder now and cares it not be done. And so with me, the great Antiochus, gainst whomst I am too little to contend, since he's so great, can make his will his act, will think me speaking, though I swear to silence, nor boots it to me to say I honor him. If he suspect I may dishonor him, and what may make him blush in being known, he'll stop the course by which it might be known. With hostile forces he'll overspread the land, and with the ostent of war will look so huge. Amazement shall drive courage from the state. Our men be vanquished ere they do resist, and subjects punished that ne'er thought offense. Which care of them, not pity of myself, who am no force, but as the tops of trees, which fence the roots they grow by and defend them. Makes both my body pine and soul to languish, and punish that before that he would punish.
Enter Helicanus with other lords.
Joy and comfort in your sacred breast.
And keep your mind till you return to us, peaceful and comfort.
Peace, peace, and give experience tongue. They do abuse the king and flatter him, for flattery is the bellows blows up sin, the thing which is flattered but a spark, to which that blast gives heat and stronger glowing. Whereas reproof, obedient and in order, fits kings, as they are men, for they may err. When Signor Sooth here does proclaim a peace, he flatters you, makes war upon your life. Prince, pardon me or strike me if you please, I cannot be much lower than my knees.
All leave us else, but let your cares overlook what shipping and what laddings in our haven, and then return to us.
Exit lords.
Helicanus, thou hast moved us. What seekest thou in our looks?
An angry brow, dread lord.
If there be such a dart in princes' frowns, how durst thy tongue move anger to our face?
How dare the plants look up to heaven, from whence they have their nourishment?
Thou knowest I have power to take thy life from thee.
I have ground the axe myself. Do you but strike the blow?
Rise, prithee, rise. Sit down, thou art no flatterer. I thank thee for it, and heaven forbid that kings should let their ears hear their faults hid. Fit counselor and servant for a prince, who by thy wisdom makest a prince thy servant. What wouldst thou have me do?
To bear with patience such grief as you yourself do lay upon yourself.
Thou speakest like a physician, Helicanus. What ministers a potion unto me, that thou wouldst tremble to receive thyself? Attend me. Then I went to Antioch, where, as thou knowest, against the face of death, I sought the purchase of glorious beauty, from whence an issue I might propagate our arms to princes and bring joys to subjects. Her face was to mine eye beyond all wonder. The rest, hearken thine ear, as black as incest, which by my knowledge found the sinful father seemed not to strike, but smooth. But thou knowest this time to fear when tyrants seem to kiss. Such fear so grew in me, I hither fled, under the covering of a careful knight, who seemed my good protector, and being here, bethought me what was past, what might succeed. I knew him tyrannous, and tyrants' fears decrease not, but grow faster than the years. And should he doubt it, as no doubt he doth, I should open the listening air, how many worthy princes' bloods were shed, to keep his bed of blackness unlaid ope. To lop that doubt, he'll fill his land with arms, and make pretense of wrong that I have done him. When all for mine, if I may call offense, must feel war's blow, who spares not innocence, which love to all, of which thyself art one, who now reproves me for it.
Alas, sir.
Drew sleep out of mine eyes, blood from my cheeks, musings into my mind, with thousand doubts, how I might stop with tempest ere it come, and Finding little comfort to relieve them, I thought it princely charity to grieve them.
Well, my lord, since you have given me leave to speak, freely I will speak. Antiochus you fear, and justly too, I think, you fear the tyrant, who either by public war or private treason will take away your life. Therefore, my lord, go travel for a while, till his rage and anger be forgot, or till destinies do cut the thread of life. Your rule direct to any, if to me. Day serves not light more faithful than I'll be.
I do not doubt thy faith, but should he wrong my liberties in my absence?
We'll mingle our bloods together in the earth, from whence we had our being and our birth.
Tyre, I now look from thee then, and to Tarsus intend my travel, where I'll hear from thee, and by whose letters I'll dispose myself. The care I had and have of subjects good on thee I lay, whose wisdom's strength can bear. I'll take thy word for faith, not ask thine oath. Who shuns not to break one will, sure crack both. But in our orbs will live so round and safe, that time of both this truth shall never convince. Thou show'dst a subject shine, I a true prince.
Exits. And scene 3, Tyre, an antechamber in the palace. Enter Tylard.
So this is Tyre, and this the court. Here must I kill King Pericles, and if I do not, I am sure to be hanged at home. 'Tis dangerous. Well, I perceived he was a wise fellow, and had good discretion, that being bid to ask what he would of the king, desired that he might know none of his secrets. Now do I see he had some reason for it. For if a king bid a man be a villain, he is bound by the indenture of his oath to be one. Hush! Here comes the lords of Tyre.
Enter Helicanus and Escanes with other lords of Tyre.
You shall not need, my fellow peers of Tyre, further to question me of your king's departure. His sealed commission, left in trust with me, doth speak sufficiently he's gone to travel.
How? The king's gone?
If further yet you will be satisfied, why, as it were unlicensed of your loves, he will depart. I'll give some light unto you. Being at Antioch.
What from Antioch?
Royal Antiochus, on what cause I know not, took some displeasure at him, at least he judged so, and doubting lest that he erred or sinned, to show his sorrow, held correct himself, so puts himself unto the shipman's toil, with whom each minute threatens life or death.
Well, I perceive I shall not be hanged now, although I would. But since he's gone, the king's seas must please. He's escaped the land, to perish at the sea. I'll present myself. Peace to the lords of Tyre.
Lord Thaliard from Antiochus is welcome.
From him I come, with message unto princely Pericles. But since my landing I have understood, your lord hath betook himself to unknown travels. My message must return from whence it came.
We have no reason to desire it. Commend to our master, not to us. Yet, ere you shall depart, this we desire. As friends of Antioch, we may feast in Tyre.
Exits. Scene 4, Tarsus, a room in governor's house. Enter Cleon, the governor of Tarsus, with Dionyza and others.
My Dionyza, shall we rest us here, and by relating tales of each other's griefs, see if 'twill teach us to forget our own?
That were to blow at fire and hope to quench it. For who digs hills because they do aspire, throws down one mountain to cast up a higher? O my distressed lord, even such our griefs are, here there but felt, and seen with mischief's eyes, but like to groves, being topped they higher rise.
O Dionyza, who wanteth food, and will not say he wants it, or who can conceal his hunger till he famish. Our tongues in sorrows do sound deep, our woes into the air. Our eyes do weep till tongues fetch breath that may proclaim them louder, that if heaven slumber while their creatures want, they may wake their helps to comfort them. I'll then discourse our woes, felt several years, and wanting breath to help speak with tears.
I'll do my best, sir.
This Tarsus, o'er which I have the government, a city on whom plenty held full land, for riches strewed herself even in the streets, whose towers bore heads so high they kissed the clouds, and strangers ne'er beheld but wondered at, whose men and dames so jetted and adorned, like one another's glass to trim them by. Their tables were stored full to glad the sight, and not so much to feed on as delight. All poverty was scorned, and pride was so great, the name of help grew odious to repeat.
Oh, 'tis too true.
But see what heaven can do. By this our change, these mouths, who but of late earth, sea, and air, were all too little to content and please, although they gave their creatures in abundance, as houses are defiled for want of use. They are now starved for want of exercise. Those palates who, not yet 2 summers younger, must have inventions to delight the taste, would now be glad of bread and beg for it. Those mothers who to nuzzle up to their babies, thought not too curious, are ready now to eat those little darlings whom they loved. So sharp are hunger's teeth that man and wife draw lots who first die to lengthen life. Here stands a lord, and there a lady weeping. Here many sink, yet those which see them fall have scarce strength left to give them burial. Is this not true?
Our cheeks and hollow eyes do witness it.
Oh, let those cities that of plenty's cup and her prosperities so largely taste with their superfluous riots, hear their tears. The misery of Tarsus may be theirs.
Enter, Lord.
Where's the Lord Governor?
Here, speak out thy sorrows which thou bring'st in haste, for comfort is too far for us to expect.
We have descried upon our neighboring shore a portly sail of ships make hitherward.
I thought as much. One sorrow never comes but brings an heir that may succeed his inheritor, and so in ours, some neighboring nation taking advantage of our misery, hath stuffed those hollow vessels with their power to beat us down, the which are down already, and make a conquest of unhappy me, whereas no glory is got to overcome.
That's the least fear, for by the semblance of their white flags displayed, they bring us peace, and come to us as favors, not as foes.
Thou speakst like hymns untutored to repeat. Who makes the fair show means most deceit. But bring they what they will and what they can. What need we fear? The ground's the lowest, and we are halfway there. So go tell their general we tend him here, to know for what he comes, and whence he comes, and what he craves.
I go, my lord.
Exit.
Welcome is peace, if he on peace consist, if wars we are unable to resist.
Enter Pericles with attendants.
Lord Governor, for so we hear you are, let not our ships and number of our men be like a beacon fired to amaze your eyes. We have heard your miseries as far as Tyre, and seen the desolation of your streets. Nor come we to add sorrow to your tears, but to relieve them of their heavy load. And these our ships, you haply may think, are like the Trojan horse was stuffed within with bloody veins, expecting overthrow, are stored with corn to make your needy bread, and give them life whom hunger starved half dead.
The gods of Greece protect you, and will pray for you.
Arise, I pray you, rise. We do not look for reverence, but to love, and harborage for ourself, our ships, and men.
The which when any shall not gratify or pay you with unthankfulness and thought, be it our wives, our children, or ourselves, the curse of heaven and men succeed their evils. Till when the which I hope shall never be seen, your grace is welcome to our town and us.
Which welcome will it accept. Feast here a while, until our stars that frown lend us a smile.
Exits. Enter Gower. Act 2, enter Gower. Here have you seen a mighty king. His child I wist to incest bring. a better prince and benign lord, that will prove awful both in deed and word. Be quiet then, as men should be, till he hath passed necessity. I'll show you those in troubles reign, losing a might, a mountain gain. The good in conversation to whom I give my benison is still at Tarsus with each man, thinks all is writ he spaking can, and to remember what he does, build his statue to make him glorious. But tidings to the contrary are brought your eyes, which now I speak. Enter at one door Pericles, talking with Cleon, all the train with them. Enter another door, a gentleman with a letter to Pericles. Pericles shows the letter to Cleon, gives the messenger a reward, and knights him. Exit Pericles at one door, and Cleon at another. Good Helicane, this stayed at home, not to eat honey, like a drone, from others' labors, for though he strive to kill in bad, keep good alive. And to fulfill his prince's desire, sends word to all the haps in Tyre, how Tylard came full bent with sin, and had intent to murder him. And that in Tarsus was not best longer for him to make his rest. He, doing so, put forth to seize, where men been, there's seldom ease. For now the wind begins to blow, thunder above and deeps below, much such unquiet that the ship should house him safe in wrecked and split. And he, good prince, having all lost, by ways from coast to coast is tossed, all perishin of man, of pelf, ne aught escapen but himself, till fortune, tired with doing bad, threw him ashore to give him glad. And here he comes. What shall be next? Pardon, old Gower, this longs the text. Exits. Scene 1, Pentopolis, an open place by the seaside. Enter Pericles, wet.
Yet cease your ire, you angry stars of heaven. Wind, rain, and thunder, remember, earthly man is but a substance that must yield to you, and I, as fits my nature, do obey you. Alas, the sea hath cast me on the rocks, washed me from shore to shore, and left me breathe nothing to think on but ensuing death. Let it suffice the greatness of your powers to have bereft a prince of all his fortunes, and having thrown him from your watery grave, here to have death in peace is all he'll crave.
Enter 3 fishermen.
What ho, Pilch?
Ha, come and bring away the nets.
What, Patchbreach, I say?
What say you, master?
Look, thou stirrest now. Come away, or I'll fetch thee with Wanion.
Faith, master, I am thinking of the poor men that were cast away before us even now.
Alas, poor souls, it grieved my heart to hear what pitiful cries they made to us to help them, when well a day we could scarce help ourselves.
Nay, master, said not I as much when I saw the porpoise, how he bounced and tumbled? They say they're half fish, half flesh. A plague on them. They're never come, but I look to be washed. Master, I marvel at how these fishes live in the sea.
Why, as men do a land, the great ones eat up the little ones. I can compare our rich misers to nothing so fitly as to a whale who plays and tumbles, driving the poor fry before him, and at last devours them all a mouthful. Such whales have I heard of on the land, who never leave gaping till they've swallowed the whole parish, church, steeple, bells, and all.
A pretty moral.
But master, if I had been the sexton, I would have been that day in the belfry.
Why, man?
Because he should have swallowed me too, God damn it. And when I had been in his belly, I would have kept such a jangle of the bells that he should never have left till he cast bells, steeple, church, and parish up again. But if the good King Simonides something were of my mind,
Simonides?
we would purge the land of these drones that rob the bee of her honey.
How from the finny subject of the sea, these fishers tell the infirmities of men, and from their watery empire recollect all that may men approve or men defect. Peace be at your labor, honest fisherman.
Honest, good fellow, what's that? If it be a day fits you, search out of the calendar and nobody looks after it.
May see the sea hath cast upon your coast.
What a drunken knave was the sea to cast thee in our way.
A man whom both the waters and the wind in that vast tennis court have made the ball for them to play upon, entreats you pity him. He asks of you that never used to beg.
No, friend, cannot you beg? Here's them in our country, Greece, gets more with begging than we can do with working.
Canst thou catch any fishes then?
I never practiced it.
Nay, then thou wilt starve, sure. For nothing, here nothing's to be got nowadays, unless thou canst fish for it.
What I have been, I have forgot to know, but what I am, want teaches me to think on. A man's thronged upon with cold, my veins are chill, and have no more of life than may suffice, to give my tongue that heat to ask your help, which if you shall refuse, when I am dead, for if I am a man, pray see me buried.
Die, quoth they? Now, gods forbid, I have gown here. Come, put it on, keep thee warm now for me, a handsome fellow. Come, thou shalt go home, and we'll have flesh for holidays, fish for fasting days, and moreover puddings and flapjacks, and thou shalt be welcome.
I thank you, sir.
Hark you, my friend, you said you could not beg.
I did but crave.
But crave, then I'll turn craver too, and so I shall escape whipping.
Why, are all your beggars whipped then?
Oh, not all, my friend, not all. For if all your beggars were whipped, I would wish no better office than to be beetled. But master, I'll go draw up the net.
Exit with third fisherman.
How well this honest mirth becomes their labor.
Hark you, sir, do you know where ye are?
Not well.
Well, I'll tell you, this is called Pentapolis, and our king good Simonides.
The good King Simonides. Do you call him?
Aye, sir, he deserves to be called for his peaceable reign and good government.
He is a happy king, since he gains from his subjects the name of good by his government. How far is his court distant from this shore?
Marry, sir, half a day's journey, and I'll tell ye, he hath a fair daughter, and tomorrow is her birthday, and there are princes and knights come from all parts of the world just to just and tourney for her love.
Were my fortunes equal to my desires, I could wish to make one there.
Oh, sir, things must be as they may, and what a man cannot get he may lawfully deal for, his wife's soul.
Re-enter second and third fishermen drawing up a net.
Help, master, help! Here's a fish hangs in the net, like a poor man's right in the law. 'Twill hardly come out. Ah, bots on it, 'tis come at last, and 'tis turned to a rusty armor.
An armor, friends, I pray you, let me see it. Thanks, fortune yet, that after all my crosses thou givest me somewhat to repair myself. And though it was mine own, part of my heritage, which my dead father did bequeath to me, with this strict charge, even as he left his life. Keep it, my Pericles, it hath been a shield twixt me and death, and pointed to this brace, for that it saved me. Keep it. In like necessity, the which the gods protect thee from, may defend thee. It kept where I kept, I so dearly loved it. 'Tis the rough seas that spare not any man, took it in rage, though calmed have given it again. I thank thee for my shipwrecked now's no ill, since I have here my father's gift in's will.
What mean you, sir?
To beg of you, kind friends, this coat of worth, for it was some time target to a king. I know it by this mark. He loved me dearly, and for his sake I wish the having of it, and that you'll guide me to your sovereign's court, where with it I may appear a gentleman. And if that ever my low fortunes better, I'll pay your bounties. Till then, rest your debtor.
Why wilt thou tourney for the lady?
I'll show the virtue I have borne in arms.
Why do we take it? And the gods give thee good on't.
Ay, but hark you, my friend, 'twas we that made up this garment through the rough seams of the waters. There are certain condolements, certain veils. I hope, sir, if you thrive, you'll remember from whence you had it.
Believe it, I will. By your furtherness, I am clothed in steel. And, spite of all the rapture of the sea, this jewel holds his building on my arm. Unto thy value I will mount myself upon a courser, whose delightful steps shall make the gazer joy to see him tread. Only, my friend, I yet am unprovided a pair of bases.
We'll sure provide. Thou shalt have my best gown to make thee a pair, and I'll bring thee to the court myself.
Then honor be but a goal to my will. This day I'll rise, or else add ill to ill.
Exit scene 2, the same, a public way or platform leading to the lists, a pavilion by the side of it for the reception of king, princess, lords, and company. Enter Simonides, Tasia, lords, and attendants.
All the knights ready to begin the triumph.
They are, my liege, and stay your coming to present themselves.
Return them. We are ready, and our daughter, in honor of whose birth these triumphs are, sits here like beauty's child, whom nature gat for men to see and seeing wonder at.
Exit a lord.
It pleaseth you, my royal father, to express my commendations great, whose merits less.
It's fit it should be so, for princes are a model, which heaven makes like to itself. As jewels lose their glory if neglected, so princes their renowns if not respected. 'Tis now your honor, daughter, to explain the labor of each knight in his device.
Which to preserve my honor I'll perform.
Enter a knight. He passes over, and his squire presents his shield to the princess.
Who is the first that doth prefer himself?
A knight of Sparta, my renowned father, and the device he bears upon his shield is a black Ethiopia reaching at the sun. The world looks to Abita Mihi.
He loves you well that holds his life of you.
The second knight passes over.
Who is the second that presents himself?
A prince of Macedon, my royal father, and the device he wears upon his shield is an armed knight that is conquered by a lady. The motto thus in Spanish, Pío por dulzura que por fuerza.
The third knight passes over.
And what's the third?
The third of Antioch, and his device, a breath of chivalry, the word me pompare provexit apex.
The fourth knight passes over.
What is the fourth?
A burning torch that's turned upside down, the word quod mealit me extinguit.
Which shows that beauty hath his power and will, which can as well inflame as it can kill.
The fifth knight passes over.
The fifth, and hand environed with clouds, holding out gold that's by the touchstone tried. The motto thus sic spectanda fides.
The sixth knight, Pericles, passes over.
And what's the sixth and last, the which the knight himself with such graceful courtesy delivered?
He seems to be a stranger, but his present is a withered branch that's only green at top. The motto, in hac spe vivo.
A pretty moral from the dejected state wherein he is. He hopes by you his fortunes yet may flourish.
He had need mean better than his outward show can any way speak in his just commend. For by his rusty outside he appears to have practised more the whipstock than the lance.
He may well be a stranger, for he comes to an honoured triumph strangely furnished.
And on the purpose let his armor rust until this day to scour it in the dust.
Opinion's but a fool that makes us scam the outward habit of by the inward man. But stay, the knights are coming, we will withdraw into the gallery.
Exit, great shouts within, and all cry, "The mean knight!" Scene 3. I mean, scene 3, the same. A hall of state, a banquet prepared. Enter Simonides, Tasia, lords, attendants, and knights from Tilting.
Knights, to say your welcome were superfluous. To place upon the volumes of your deeds as in a title page, your worth in arms were more than you expect, or more than's fit, since every worth in show commends itself. Prepare for mirth becomes a feast. You are princes and my guests.
But you, my knight and guest, to whom this wreath of victory I give, and crown you king of this day's happiness.
'Tis more by fortune, lady, than by merit.
Call it by what you will, the day is yours, and here, I hope, is none that envies it. In framing an artist, art hath thus decreed, to make some good, but to others to succeed. And you are her laboured scholar. Come, queen of the feast, for daughter, so you are. Here, take your place, marshal the rest, as they deserve their grace.
We are honored much by good
Simonides.
Simonides.
Good Simonides. Your presence glads our days. Honor we love, for who hates honor hates the gods above.
Sir, yonder is your place.
Some other is more fit.
Contend not, sir, for we are gentlemen, that neither in our hearts nor outward eyes envy the great nor do the low despise.
You're right, courteous knights.
Sit, sir, sit.
By Jove, I wonder that this king of thoughts, these cates resist me, she but thought upon.
By Juno, that is queen of marriage, all viands that I eat do seem unsavory. Wishing him my meat, sure he's a gallant gentleman.
He's but a country gentleman. He has done no more than other knights have done, has broken a staff or so let it pass.
To me he seems like a diamond to glass.
Yon king's to me like to my father's picture, which tells me in that glory once he was, had princes sit like stars upon his throne, and he the sun, for them the reverence none that beheld him, but like lesser lights did veil their crowns to his supremacy, where now his sons, like a glowworm in the night, to which hath fire in darkness, none in light, whereby I see that times the king of men, he's both their parent and he in their grave, and gives them what he will, not what they crave.
What, are you merry, knights?
Who can be other in this royal
presence? Here, with a cup that's stored unto the brim, as you do love, fill to your mistress's lips. We drink this health to you.
We thank your grace.
Yet pause a while. Yon knight doth sit too melancholy, as if the entertainment in our court had not a show might countervail his worth. Note, is it not you, Thaisa?
What is it to me, my father?
Oh, attend, my daughter. Princes in this should live like gods above, who freely give to every one that comes to honor them. And princes not doing so are like to gnats, which make a sound, but killed are wondered at. Therefore, to make his entrance more sweet, here, say we drink this standing bowl of wine to him.
Alas, my father, it befits not me unto a stranger knight to be so bold. He may I prefer take for an offence, since men take women's gifts for impudence.
How? Do as I bid you, or you'll move me else.
Now, by the gods, he could not please me better.
And furthermore, tell him we desire to know of him, of whence he is, his name and parentage.
The king, my father, sir, has drunk to you.
I thank him. Oh, sorry, that's not me. That wasn't me. Sorry.
I thank him.
Wishing it so much blood unto your life.
I thank both him and you, and pledge him freely.
And further he desires to know of you, of whence you are, your name and parentage.
A gentleman of Tyre, my name Pericles, my education being in arts and arms, who, looking for adventure in the world, was by the rough sea reft of ships and men, and after shipwrecked driven upon this shore.
He thanks your grace, names himself Pericles, a gentleman of Tyre, who only by misfortune of the seas, bereft of ships and men, cast on this shore.
Now, by the gods, I pity his misfortune, and will awake him from his melancholy. Come, gentlemen, we sit too long on trifles, and waste the time, which looks for other revels. Even in your armours as you are dressed, will very well become a soldier's dance. I will not have excuse with staying this. Loud music is too harsh for ladies' heads, since they love men in arms as well as beds.
The knights dance.
So this was well asked, 'twas so well performed. Come, sir, here is a lady that wants breathing too, and I have heard you knights of Tyre are excellent in making ladies trip, and that the measures are as excellent.
In those that practice them they are, my lord.
Oh, that's as much as you would be denied of your fair courtesy.
The knights and ladies dance.
Unclasp, unclasp. Thanks, gentlemen, to all have done well.
To Pericles.
But you the best, pages and lights to conduct these knights unto their several lodgings.
To Pericles.
Yours, sir, we have given order to be annexed our own.
I'm at your grace's pleasure.
Princes, it is too late to talk of love, and that's the mark I know you level at. Therefore, each one betake him to his rest. Tomorrow all for speeding do their best.
Exits. Scene 4. Tyre, a room in the governor's house. Enter Helicanus and Ascanus.
Know, Ascanus, know this of me. Antiochus from incest lived not free, for which the most high gods, not minding longer to withhold the vengeance that they had in store, due to this heinous capital offense, even in the height and pride of all his glory, when he was seated in a chariot of inestimable value, and his daughter with him, a fire from heaven came and shriveled up their bodies, even to loathing, for they so stunk, that all those eyes adored them ere their fall, scorn now the hand should give them burial.
'Twas very strange.
And yet but justice. For though this king were great, his greatness was no guard to bar heaven's shaft, but sin had his reward.
'Tis very true.
Enter 2 or 3 lords. See, not a man in private conference or council has respect with him but he.
It shall no longer grieve without a reproof.
And cursed be he that will not second it.
Follow me then, Lord Helicane. A word.
With me, and welcome. Happy day, my lords.
Know that our griefs are risen to the top, and now at length overflow their banks.
Your griefs? For what? Wrong not your prince you love.
Wrong not yourself then, noble Helicane. But if the prince do live, let us salute him, or know what grounds made happy by his breath. If in the world he live, we'll seek him out. If in his grave he rest, we'll find him there. And be resolved he lives to govern us, or dead gives cause to mourn his funeral and leave us to free election.
So his death indeed's the strongest in our censure, and knowing this kingdom is without a head, like goodly buildings left without a roof, soon fall to ruin. Your noble self, that but best know how to rule and how to reign, we thus submit unto our sovereign.
Live, noble Helicane!
For honor's cause, forbear your suffrages. If that you love Prince Pericles, forbear. Take I your wish, I leap into the seas, where's hourly trouble for a minute's ease. A 12-month longer, let me entreat you to forbear the absence of your king. If in which time expired he not return, I shall with aged patience bear your yoke. But if I cannot win you to his love, go search like nobles, like noble subjects, and in your search spend your adventure's worth. Whom if you find and win unto return, you shall like diamonds sit about his crown.
To wisdom he's a fool that will not yield, and since Lord Helicane enjoyeth us, we with our travels will endeavour us.
Then you love us, we you, and will clasp hands. When peers thus knit, a kingdom ever stands.
Exit. Scene 5. Pentapolis, a room in the palace. Enter Simonides reading a letter at one door. The knights meet him.
Good morrow to the good Simonides.
Knights, from my daughter this I let you know, that for this 12 months she'll not undertake a married life. Her reason to herself is only known, which yet from her by no means can I get. May we not get access to her, my lord? Faith, by no means. She has no strictly tied her to her chamber. That is impossible. 12 moons more she'll wear Diana's livery. This by the eye of Cynthia hath she vowed, and on her virgin honour will not break it.
Loath to bid farewell, we take our leaves.
Exit knights.
So, they are well dispatched. Now to my daughter's letter. She tells me here she'd wed the stranger knight, or never more to view nor day nor light. 'Tis well, mistress, your choice agrees with mine. I like that well. Nay, how absolute she is in it, not minding whether I dislike or no. Well, I do commend her choice, and will no longer have it be delayed. Soft, here he comes. I must dissemble it.
Enter Pericles.
All fortune to the good Simon Dees.
To you as much, sir. I am beholding to you for your sweet music this last night. I do protest my ears were never better fed with such delightful pleasing harmony.
It is your grace's pleasure to commend, not my desert.
Sir, you are music's master.
The worst of all her scholars, my good lord.
Let me ask you one thing. What do you think of my daughter, sir?
A most virtuous princess.
And she is fair too, is she not?
As a fair day in summer, wondrous fair.
Sir, my daughter thinks very well of you. Aye, so well that you must be her master, and she will be your scholar. Therefore, look to it.
I am unworthy for her schoolmaster.
She thinks not so. Peruse this writing else.
What's here? A letter that she loves the knight of Tyre? 'Tis the king's subtlety to have my life. O seek not to entrap me, gracious lord, a stranger and distressed gentleman that never aimed so high to love your daughter, but bent all offices to honor her.
Thou hast bewitched my daughter, and thou art a villain.
By the gods, I have not. Never did thought of mine levy offense, nor never did my actions yet commence. A deed might gain her love or your displeasure.
Traitor! Thou liest.
Traitor!
Aye, traitor!
Even in his throat, unless it be the king that calls me traitor, I return the lie.
Now by the gods I do applaud his courage.
My actions are as noble as my thoughts, as never relished of a base descent. I came unto your court for honor's cause, and not to be a rebel of her state. And he that otherwise accounts of me, this sword shall prove he's honor's enemy.
No, here comes my daughter, she can witness it.
Enter Tisia.
Then, as you are as virtuous as fair, resolve your angry father. If my tongue did e'er solicit, or my hand subscribe to any syllable that made love to you.
Why, sir, say if you had, who takes offence at that would make me glad.
Yea, mistress, why are you so peremptory? I am glad on't with all my heart. I'll tame you, I'll bring you in subjection. Will you, not having my consent, bestow your love and your affections upon a stranger? Who ought, for I know, may be, nor can I think the contrary, as great in blood as I myself. Therefore hear you, mistress, either frame your will to mine, and you, sir, hear you, either be ruled by me, or I will make you man and wife. Nay, come, your hands and lips must seal it too, and being joined I'll thus cut your hopes destroy, and for further grief, God give you joy. What, are you both pleased?
Yes, if you love me, sir.
Even as my life or blood that fosters it.
What, are you both agreed?
Yes, if it please your majesty.
It pleaseth me so well that I will see you wed, and then with what haste you can get to bed.
Exits. Act 3. and her gower. Now sleepy slaked hath the rout, no did but snores the house about, made louder by the overfed breast of this most pompous marriage feast. The cat with eyne of burning coal now crouches for the mouse's hole, and crickets sing at oven's mouth ere the blither for their drouth. Hyen hath brought the bride to bed, where by loss of maidenhead a babe is moulded, be a tent, and time that is so briefly spent. Fine fancies quaintly eke that dumb and show all plain with speech. Enter Pericles and Simonides at one door with attendants. A messenger meets them, kneels and gives Pericles a letter. Pericles shows it to Simonides. The lords kneel to him. Then enter Tisia with child, with Lyconrida, a nurse. The king shows her the letter. She rejoices. She and Pericles takes leave of her father and depart with Lycandria and their attendants. Then exit Simonides and the rest. By many a dern and painful perch of Pericles the careful search, by the four opposing coins with which the world together joins, is made with all due diligence that horse and sail at high expense can stead the quest at last from Tyre, fame answering the most strange enquire. To the court of King Simonides are letters brought the tenor these: Antiochus and his daughter dead, the men of Tyrus on the head of Helen Canis would set on the crown of Tyre, but he will none. The mutiny he here has oppressed, say to them if King Pericles come not home twice 6 moons, he obedient to their dooms will take down the crown, the sum of this brought hither to Pentapolis. Ye ravish the regions round, and every one with clasps can sound. Our heir apparent is a king who dreamed, who thought of such a thing. Brief he must hence depart to Tyre, his queen with child makes her desire, which who shall cross along to go, omit with all their dole and woe. Lycandria, her nurse, she takes, and so to sea the vessel shakes. Of Neptune's billow, half the flood hath their keel cut, but fortune's mood varies again. The grisly north disgorges such a tempest forth, that is duck for life the dive, so up and down the poor ship dives. The lady shrieks a well anear, does bawl and travail with her fear. And what ensues in this fell storm shall for itself perform. I no relate action may conveniently the rest convey, which might not what by me is told in your imagination hold. The stage, the ship upon whose deck the sea-tossed Pericles appears to speak. Exits. Scene 1. Enter Pericles on shipboard.
Thou god of this great vast, rebuke these surges, which wash both heaven and hell, and thou that hast upon the winds command, bind them in brass, having called them from the deep. O still thy deafening dreadful thunders, gently quench thy nimble sulphurous flashes. O how, like Lycorida, how does my queen? Thou stormest venomously, wilt thou spill all thyself? The seaman's whistle is as a whisper in the ears of death, unheard. Lycorida, Lucina, O divinest patroness and midwife gentle, to those that cry by night, convey thy deity abroad our dancing boat. Make swift the pangs of my queen's travails.
Enter Lycorida with an infant.
Now, Lycorida.
Here's a thing too young for such a place, who if it had conceived will die, as I like to do, taking your arms this piece of your dead queen.
How, Lycorida?
Patience, good sir, do not assist the storm. Here's all that is left living of your queen. A little daughter, for the sake of it, be manly and take comfort.
Oh, you gods, why do you make us love our goodly gifts, and snatch them straight away? We here below recall not what we give, and therein may use honor with you.
Patience, good sir, even for this charge.
Now mild may be thy life, for a blusterous birth had never babe. Quiet and gentle thy conditions, for thou art the rudeliest welcome to this world that ever was prince's child. Happy what follows. Thou hast had chiding a nativity, as fire, air, water, earth, and heaven can make, to herald thee from the womb. Even at the first, thy loss is more than can thy portage quit, with all thou canst find here. Now the good gods throw their best eyes upon't.
Enter two sailors. What courage, sir, God save you.
Courage enough, I do not fear the flaw. It hath done to me the worst. Yet for the love of this poor infant, this fresh new seafarer, it would be quiet.
Slack the boils there. Thou wilt not, will thou? Blow and split thyself.
But Cyril and the brine and cloudy billow kiss the moon, I care not.
Sir, your queen must overboard. The sea works high, the wind is loud, and will not lie the ship be cleared of the dead.
That's your superstition.
Pardon us, sir, with us at sea it hath been still observed, and we are strong in custom. Therefore briefly yield her, for she must overboard straight.
As you think meet, most wretched queen.
Here she lies, sir.
A terrible childbed hast thou had, my dear. No light, no fire, the unfriendly elements forgot thee utterly. Nor have I time to give thee hallowed to thy grave, but straight must cast thee, scarcely coffined in the ooze, where for a monument upon thy bones, and e'er remaining lamps, the belching whale and humming water must o'erwhelm thy corpse, lying with simple shells. O Lycorida, bid Nestor bring me spices, ink, and paper, my casket and my jewels, and bid Nicander bring me the satin coffer. Lay the babe upon the pillow. Hie thee, whiles I say a priestly farewell to her. Suddenly, woman.
Enter Lycorida.
Exit, Lycorida.
Oh,
Sir, we have a chest beneath the hatches, caulked and betumed ready.
I thank thee. Mariner, say what coast is this?
We are near Tarsus.
Thither, gentle mariner, alter thy course for Tyre. When canst thou reach it?
By break of day, if the winds cease.
Oh, make for Tarsus. There will I visit Cleon, for the babe cannot hold out to Tyrus. There I'll leave it at careful nursing. Go thy ways, good mariner. I'll bring the body presently.
Exit. Scene 2. Ephesius. A room in Ceramon's house. Enter Ceramon with a servant and some persons who have been shipwrecked.
Philemon, ho!
Enter Philemon.
Doth my lord call?
Get fire and meat for these poor men. 'Tis been a turbulent and stormy night.
I have been in many, but such a night as this till now I ne'er endured.
Your master will be dead ere you return. There's nothing can be ministered to nature that can recover him.
To Philemon.
Give this to the apothecary and tell me how it works.
Exit all but Ceramon. Enter two gentlemen. Good morrow.
Good morrow to your lordship.
Gentlemen, why do you stir so early?
Sir, our lodging standing bleak upon the sea. Shook as the earth did quake, the very principles did seem to rend, and all to topple, pure surprise and fear made me to quit the house.
That is the cause we trouble you so early. 'Tis not our husbandry.
Oh, you say well.
But I much marvel that your lordship, having rich Tyre about you, should at these early hours shake off the golden slumber of repose. 'Tis most strange nature should be so conversant with pain, bring thereto not compelled.
I hold it ever, virtue and cunning were endowments greater than nobleness and riches. Careless heirs may the two latter darken and expend, but immortality attends the former. making a man a god. 'Tis known I ever have studied physic, though which secret art, by turning o'er authorities, I have, together with my practice, made familiar to me and my aid the blessed infusions that dwell in vegetatives, in metals, in stones, and I can think of the disturbances that nature works, and of her cures, which doth give me a more content in course of true delight, than to be thirsty after tottering honor, or tie up my treasure in silken bags to please the fool and deaf.
Your honor has through Ephesius poured forth your charity, and hundreds call themselves your creatures, who by you have restored, and not your knowledge, your personal pain, but even your purse still open hath built Lord Cerimon, such strong renown as time shall never decay.
Enter 2 or 3 servants with a chest.
So lift it there.
What is that?
Sir, even now did the sea toss upon our shore with this chest to some wreck.
Set down, let's look upon't.
'Tis like a coffin, sir.
Where to be, 'tis wondrous heavy, wrench it open straight. If the sea's stomach be o'ercharged with gold, 'tis a good constraint of fortune it belches upon us.
'Tis so, my lord.
How close 'tis caulked and bitumed? Did the sea cast it up?
I never saw so huge a billow, sir, as tossed upon shore.
Wrench it open, soft! It smells most sweetly in my sense.
A delicate odor.
As ever hit my nostril, so up with it. Oh, you most potent god, what's here? A corpse.
Most strange.
Shrouded in cloth of state, bombed and entreasured with full bags of spices. A passport, too, Apollo. Perfect me in the characters.
Reads from a scroll.
Here I give to understand, if ere this coffin drive a land, I, King Pericles, have lost this queen worth all our mundane cost. Who finds her, give her burying. She was the daughter of a king. Besides this treasure for a fee, the gods requite his charity. If thou livest, Pericles, thou hast a heart that even cracks for woe this chance tonight.
Most likely, sir.
Nay, certainly tonight, for look how freshly she looks. They were too rough to throw her into the sea. Make a fire within. Fetch hither all my boxes in the closet.
Exit a servant.
Death may usurp on nature many hours, and yet the fire of life kindle again. The oppressed spirits, I heard of an Egyptian that had 9 hours lain dead, who was by good appliance recovered.
Re-enter a servant with boxes, napkins, and a fire.
Well said, well said. The fire and the cloths, the rough and woeful music that we have, cause it to sound. Beseech you the viol once more. How thou stirrest, thou block the music there, I pray you. Give her air, gentlemen. This queen will live. Nature awakens. A warmth breathes out of her. She had not been entranced above 5 hours. See how she gins to blow into life's flower again.
The heavens through you increase our wonder and set up your fame forever.
She is alive! Behold her eyelids, cases in those heavenly jewels which Pericles hath lost. Begin to part their fringes of bright gold. The diamonds of a most praised water do appear to make the world twice rich. Live, and make us weep to hear your fate, fair creature, rare as you seem to be.
She moves.
Oh dear Diana, where am I? Where's my lord? What world is this?
Is not this strange?
Most rare.
Hush, my gentle neighbors, lend me your hands. To the next chamber bear her. Get linen now, this matter must be looked to, for her relapse is mortal. Come, come, and Aeschylus, guide us.
Exits, carrying her away. Scene through 3. Tarsus, a room in Cleon's house. Enter Pericles, Cleon, Dionysa, and the Charita with Marina in her arms.
Most honored Cleon, I must needs be gone. My 12 months are expired, and Tyrus stands in a litigious peace. You and your lady take from my heart all thankfulness. The gods make up the rest upon you.
Your shafts of fortune, though they hurt you mortally, yet glance full wanderingly on us.
Oh, your sweet queen, that the strict fates had pleased you had brought her hither, to have blessed mine eyes with her.
We cannot but obey. The power is above us. Could I Rage and roar as doth the sea she lies in, yet the end must be as 'tis. My gentle babe Marina, whom for she was born at sea, I have named so. Here I charge your charity withal, leaving her the infant of your care, beseeching you to give her princely training, that she may be mattered as she is born.
Fear not, my lord, but think your grace that fed my country with your corn, for which the people's prayers still fall upon you, must in your child be thought on. If neglection should therein make me vile, the common body, by you relieved, would force me to my duty. But if to that my nature need a spur, the gods revenge it upon me and mine to the end of a generation.
I believe you. Your honor and your goodness teach me to't. Without your vows, 'tis she be married, madam, by bright Diana, whom we honor, all unscissored shall this hair of mine remain, though I show ill in't. So I take my leave, good madam. Make me blessed in your care in bringing up my child.
I have one myself, who shall not be more dear to my respect than yours, my lord.
Madam, my thanks and my prayers.
We'll bring your grace in to the edge of the shore, then give you up to the masked Neptune and the gentlest winds of heaven.
I will embrace your offer. Come, dearest madam. Oh, no tears, Lycorida, no tears. Look to your little mistress, on whose grace you may depend hereafter. Come, my lord.
Exit scene 4, Ephesius, a room in Sirmion's house. Enter Sirmion and Tisia.
Madam, this letter and some certain jewels lay with you in your coffer, which are now at your command. Know you the character?
It is my lord's, that I was shipped at sea. I well remember, even on my evening time, but whether they are delivered by the holy gods, I cannot rightly say. But since King Pericles, my wedded lord, I never shall see again, vestal livery will I take me to, and never more have joy.
Madam, if this you propose as ye speak, Diana's temple is not distant far, where you may abide till your date expire. Moreover, if you please, a niece of mine shall there attend you.
My recompense is thanks, that's all, yet my goodwill is great, though the gift is small.
Exits Act 4. Enter Gower. Imagine Pericles, arrived at Tyre, welcomed and settled to his own desire. His woeful queen we leave at Ephesius, unto Diana there a votaress. Now to Marina bend your mind, whom our fast-growing scene must find at Tarsus and by Cleon's train. In music, letters, who hath gained of education all the grace, which makes her both the heart and place of general wonder, but alack, the monster envy of the rack of earned praise Marina's life seeks to take off by treason's knife. And in this kind hath our Cleon one daughter, and wench full grown, even ripe for marriage right, this maid hight Philitian, and it is saved. For certain in our story she would ever with Marina be. Bet when she weaved the slated silk with fingers long, small, white as milk. Or when she would sharp needle wound the cambric which she made more sound by hurting it, or when to the lute she sung and made the night bird mute that still records the moan, or when she would with rich and constant pen vile to her mistress Diane still this Philieton contends to kill with absolute Marina, so with the dove of Paphos might the crow. Vile feathers of white Marina gets all praises with our paid debts. Praises and not a given, this so darks in Philieton all graceful marks that Cleon's wife with envy rare a present murderer does prepare for good Marina, that her daughter might stand peerless by this slaughter. The sooner her vile thoughts to see, like Carida, our nurse, is dead. And cursed Inazza hath the pregnant instrument of wrath. Pressed for this blow, the unborn event, I do commend your content. Only I carry winged time, post of the lame feet of my rhyme, which never could I so convey unless your thoughts went on my way. Dionysa does appear with Leonine, a murderer. Scene 1, Tarsus, an open place near the seashore. Enter Dionysa and Leonine.
Thy oath remember, thou hast sworn to do it. 'Tis but a blow which never shall be known. Thou canst not do a thing in the world so soon, to yield thee so much profit. Let not conscience, which is but cold, inflaming love in thy bosom, inflame too nicely, nor let pity, which even women have cast off, melt thee, but be a soldier to thy purpose.
I will do it, but yet she's a goodly creature.
The fitter then, the gods should have her. Here she comes, weeping for her only mistress's death. Thou art resolved?
I am resolved.
Enter Marina with a basket of flowers.
No, I will rob Tellus of her weed, to strew thy the green with flowers, the yellows, the blues, the purple violets and marigolds, shall as a carpet hang upon thy grave, while summer days do last. Ay me, poor maid, born in a tempest when my mother died. This world to me is like a lasting storm, worrying me from my friends. Hold on. One moment. We're good. How now, Marina? Why do you keep alone? How chance my daughter is not with you? Do you consume your blood with sorrowing? You have a nurse of me. Lord, how your favors changed with this unprofitable woe. Come, give me your flowers, ere the sea mar it. Walk with Leonine, the air is quick there, and it pierces and sharpens the stomach. Come, Leonine, take her by the arm and walk with her. No, I pray you, I'll not bereave you of your servant. Hold on. Come. I love the king, your father, and yourself with more than foreign heart. We every day expect him here, when he shall come and find our paragon. To all reports thus blasted, he will repent the breath of his great voyage, blame both my lord and me, that we have taken no care of your best courses. Go, I pray you, walk and be cheerful once again. Reserve that excellent complexion, which did steal the eyes of young and old. Care not for me, I can go home alone. Well, I will go, but yet I have no desire to it. Come, I know 'tis good for you. Walk half an hour, Leonine at least. Remember what I have said.
I warned you, madam.
I'll leave you, my sweet lady, for a while. Pray, walk softly. Do not heat your blood. What? I must have a care for you. My thanks, sweet madam.
Exit Dionysa.
Is this wind westerly that blows?
Southwest.
When I was born, the wind was north.
Was it so?
My father, as nurse said, did never fear, but cried, "Good seamen," to the sailors, galling his kingly hands, hauling ropes, and clasping to the mast endured a sea that almost burst the deck.
When was this?
When I was born, never was waves nor wind more violent, and from the ladder tackle washes off a canvas climber. "Ha," says one, "wilt out?" And with a dropping industry they skip from stern to stern. The boatswain whistles and the master calls and trebles their confusion.
Come, say your prayers.
What mean you?
If you require a little space for prayer, I grant it, pray. But be not tedious, for the gods are quick of ear, and I am sworn to do my work with haste.
Why will you kill me?
To satisfy my lady.
Why would she have me killed? Now, as I can remember by my troth, I never did hurt her in all my life. I never spake a bad word, nor did ill turn to any living creature. Believe me, Lot, I never killed a mouse nor hurt a fly. I trod upon a worm against my will, but I wept for it. How have I offended? Wherein my death might yield her any profit, or my life imply her any danger.
My commission is not to reason of the deed, but to do it.
You will not do it for all the world. You will not do it for all the world, I hope. You are well favored, and your looks for show, you have a gentle heart. I saw you lately when you caught hurt in parting to that fought. Good sooth, it showed well in you. Do so now. Your lady seeks my life. Come you between and save poor me, the weaker.
I am sworn and will dispatch.
He seizes her. Enter pirates.
Hold, villain.
Leonine runs away.
A prize! A prize!
Our mates hath part come, must have her aboard suddenly.
Exit pirates with Marina. Re-enter Leonine.
These roving thieves serve the great pirate Valdez, and they have seized Marina. Let her go. There's no hope she will return. I'll swear she's dead and thrown into the sea. But I'll see further. Perhaps they will but plead themselves upon her, not carry her aboard. If she remain, whom they have ravished must by me be slain.
Exits. Scene 2. Mitylene. A room in a brothel. Enter Panda, Bald, and Bolt. Bolt!
Sir,
Search the market narrowly. Mitylene is full of gallants. We lost too much money this mart by being too wenchless.
we were never so much out of creatures. We have but poor three.
No, you're not odd. You're bold.
I
Yeah.
recognize that.
We were never so much of creatures. We have built but poor three, and they can do no more than they can do. And they, with continual action, are even as good as rotten.
Therefore, let's have fresh ones, whatever we pay for them. If there be not a conscience to be used in every trade, we shall never prosper.
Thou sayest true. 'Tis not our bringings up of poor bastards. As I think, I have brought up some 11.
Hey, to 11 and brought them down again. But shall I search the market?
What else, man? The stuff we have, a strong wind will blow it to pieces. They are so pitifully sodden.
Thou sayest true, they're unwholesome. Oh, conscience, the poor Transylvanian is dead that lay with little baggage.
Aye, she quickly pooped him. She made him roast meat for worms. I'll go search the market.
Exits. 3,000 or 4,000 shekels were as pretty as proportion to live quietly and so give order.
Why to give over, I pray you? Is it a shame to get when we are old?
Oh, our credit comes not in the like commodity, nor the commodity wages not with the danger. Therefore, in our youths we could pick up some pretty estate. 'Twere not amiss to keep our door hatched. Besides, the sore terms we stand upon with the gods will be strong with us for giving over.
Come, other sorts offended as well as we.
As well as we, aye, and better too, we offered worse. Neither is our profession any trade, it's no calling, but here comes Bolt. Re-enter Bolt with the pirates and Marina.
Come your ways, my masters. You say she's a virgin?
Oh, sir, we doubt it not.
Master, I have gone through for this piece to see if you like her. So if not, I have lost my earnest.
Bolt, has she any qualities?
She has a good face, speaks well, has an excellent good clothes. There's no further necessity of qualities can make her be refused.
What's her price, Bolt?
I cannot be baited one doit for 1,000 pieces.
Well, follow me, my masters. You shall have your money presently. Wife, take her in. Instruct her what she has to do, that she may not be raw in her entertainment. It's disgusting. Is it Panda and Pirates?
Oh, Bolt, take you the marks of her, the color of her hair, complexion, height, age, and with warrant of her virginity, and cry, he that will give most shall have her first. Such a maidenhead were no cheap thing. If men were as they have been, get this done as I command you.
Performance shall follow.
Exit.
Alack, that Leonine was so slack, so slow. He should have struck, not spoke. Are these pirates not enough barbarous, had not overboard thrown me, for to seek my mother? Why lament you, pretty one? That I'm pretty. Come, the gods have done their part in you. I accuse them not. You are light into my hands, where you are like to live. The more my fault to escape his hands, where I was like to die. Aye, and you shall live in pleasure. No. Yes, indeed shall you, and 'tis gentlemen of all fashions. You shall fare well. You shall have the difference of all complexions. What? Do you stop your ears? Are you a woman? What would you have me be? Am I be not a woman? An honest woman, or not a woman? Mary, whip thee, gosling. I think I shall have something to do with you. Come, you're a young, foolish sapling, and must be bowed as I would have you. The gods defend me. If it please the gods to defend you by men, then men must comfort you. Men must feed you. Men must stir you up. Bolt's returned.
You re-enter Bolt.
Now, sir, hast thou cried her through the market?
I've cried her almost to the number of her hairs. I have drawn her picture with my voice.
And I prithee, tell me, how dost thou find the inclination of the people, especially of the younger sort?
Faith, they listen to me as they would have hearkened to their father's testament. There was a Spaniard's mouth to be watered, and he went to bed to her very description.
We shall have him here tomorrow, with his best ruff on.
Tonight, but mistress, do you know the French knight that covers at the hands?
Who, Monsieur Verolles?
He offered to cut a caper at the proclamation, but he made a groan at it and swore he would see her tomorrow.
Well, as for him, he brought his disease hither, where he does but repair it. I know he will come in our shadow to scatter his crowns in the sun.
Well, if he had of every nation a traveler, we should lodge them with this sign.
Pray you, come hither a while. You'll have fortunes coming upon you. Mark me, you must seem to do that fearfully which you commit willingly. Despise profit where you have most gain. To weep that you live as ye do makes pity in your lovers. Seldom but that pity begets you a good opinion, and that opinion a mere profit. I understand you not.
Oh, take her home, mistress, take her home. These blushes of hers must be quenched with some present practice.
Thou sayest true, in faith, so they must. For your bridge goes to that with shame, which is her way to go with warrant.
Faith, some do and some do not. But, mistress, if I have bargained for the joint,
Thou mayst cut a morsel off the spit.
I may so.
Who should deny it? Come, young one. I like the manner of your garments well.
By my faith, they shall not be changed yet.
Bolt, spend thou that in the town. Report what a sojourner we have. You'll lose nothing by custom. When nature flamed this piece, she meant thee a good turn. Therefore say what a paragon she is, and thou hast the harvest out of thine own report.
I warrant you, mistress, thunder shall not so awake the beds of eels as my giving out her beauty stir up the lewdly inclined. I'll bring her home some tonight.
Come your ways, follow me. If fires be hot, knives sharp, or waters deep, untied I still my virgin knot will keep. Diana, aid my purpose. What have we to do with Diana? Pray you, will you go with us?
Exit scene 3, Tarsus, a room in Cleon's house. Enter Cleon and Dionysa.
One moment. Okay. Why are you foolish? Can it be undone?
O Dionysa, such a piece of slaughter the sun and moon ne'er looked upon.
I think you'll turn a child again.
Were I chief lord of all the spacious worlds, I'd give it to undo the deed. A lady much less in blood than virtue, yet a princess to equal any single crown or the earth. I the justice of compare. O villain Leonate, whom thou hast poisoned too. If thou hast drunk to him, it'd be a kindness, becoming well thy fact. What canst thou say when noble Pericles shall demand his child?
That she's dead. Nurses are not the fate to foster it, nor ever to preserve. She died at night, I'll say so. Who can cross it? Unless you pay the pious innocent, and for an honest attribute cry out, she died by foul play.
Oh, go to. Well, of all the faults beneath the heavens, the gods do like this the worst.
Be one of those that think the pretty wrens of Tarsus will fly hence, and open this to Pericles. I do shame to think of what a noble strain you are, and of how coward a spirit.
To such proceeding whoever but his approbation added, though not to his prime consent, he did not flow from honorable sources.
Be it so then. Yet none does know but you how she came dead, nor none can know. Leonine being gone, she did disdain my child, and stood between her and her fortunes. None would look on her, but cast their gazes on Marina's face, whilst ours was blurted at and held a malkin not worth the time of day. It pierced me through, and though you call my course unnatural, you not your child well-loving, yet I find it greets me as an enterprise of kindness performed to your sole daughter.
Heavens forgive it.
And as for Pericles, what should he say? We wept after her hearse, and yet we mourn. Her monument is almost finished, and her epitaphs in glittering golden characters express a general praise for her, and care in us, at whose expense 'tis done.
Thou art like the harpy, which to betray dost in thine angel's face, seize with thine eagle's talons.
You are like one that surreptitiously doth swear to the gods that winter kills the flies. But yet I know you'll do as I advise.
Exit scene 4. Enter Gower, bitches, before the monument of Marina at Tarsus. Here we go. Thus time we waste, and longest leagues make short. Sail seas and guckles have as a wish but fort, making to take your imagination from bourne to bourne, region to region. By you being pardoned, we commit no crime. To use one language and each several clime, where our scenes seem to live, I do beseech you to learn of me who stand I gaps to teach you. The stages of our story that makes no sense. Pericles is now again thwarting the wayward seas, attend on by many a lord and knight to see his daughter all his life's delight. Old Ascanus, whom Helicanus late advanced in time to great and high estate, is left to govern, bear you it in mind, and Helicanus go along behind. Well-sailing ships and bounteous winds have brought this king to Tarsus, think his pilot thought. So with steerage shall your thoughts grow on, to fetch his daughter home, who first is gone. Like motes and shadows, see them move a while. Your ears unto your eyes I reconcile. Enter Pericles at one door with all his train, Cleon and Dionysa at the other. Cleon shows Pericles the tomb, whereat Pericles makes lamentation, puts on a sackcloth, and in mighty passion departs. Then extend Cleon and Dionysa. See how belief may stutter a foul show. This borrowed passion stands true to old woe, and Pericles in sorrow all devoured with sighs, shot through, and biggest tears ere showered. Leaves Tarsus, again embarks, he swears, never to wash his face nor cut his hair. He puts on sackcloth, and so to sea he bears a tempest with his mortal vessel tears. And yet he rides it out. Now please your wit, the epitaph is for Mariner writ by wicked Dionysa. Reads the inscription on Mariner's monument. The fairest, sweetest, and best lies here, who withered her spring of year. She was of Tyrus, the king's daughter. Marina was she called, on whom death hath made this slaughter. Marina was she called at her birth. Thetis, being proud, swallowed some part of the earth. Therefore the earth, feeling to be overflowed, hath Thetis' birth child on heavens bestowed. Wherefore she does, and swears she'll never stint, make raging battery upon shore. No visor does become black villainy, so well as soft and tender flattery. Let Pericles believe his daughter's dead, and bear his courses to be ordered by Lady Fortune, while our scene must play. His daughter, woe and heavy well a day, in her holy service, patience then, and think you are now in Mytilene. Jesus. Scene 5, Mytilene, the brothel, enter from the brothel, 2 gentlemen. Did you ever hear the like?
No. Wait, who is it?
It's Michelle.
Oh, never mind. I'll shut up.
No, nor never shall do in a place such as this, she being once gone.
But to have divinity preach there, did you ever dream of such a thing?
No, come. I am for no more bawdy houses, shall go hear the vestal sing.
I'll do anything now that is virtue. I am out of the road, running, forever. Exit, scene 5. The same, a room in the brothel. Enter Pander, bawd and bolt. Well, I had rather that twice the worth of her she had never come here.
Fie upon her. She's able to freeze the god Priapus and undo a whole generation. We must either get her ravished or be rid of her. When she should go do for clients her fitment and do me the kindness of our profession, she has me her quirks, her reasons, her master reasons, her prayers, her knees, that she would make a Puritan of the devil if he should cheapen a kiss of her.
Faith, I must ravish her, or she'll defurnish us of all our cavaliers and make our swearers priests.
Now the pox upon her green sickness for me.
Faith, there's no way to be rid on it but by the way to the pox. Here comes the Lord Lysimachus disguised.
We should have both lord and loun if the peevish baggage would but give way to customers.
Enter Lysimachus.
How now? How a dozen of virginities?
Now, the gods to bless your honor.
I am glad to see your honor in good health.
You may so. 'Tis the better for you that your resorters stand upon sound legs. How now? Wholesome iniquity have you that a man may deal withal and defy the surgeon?
We have here one, sir, if she would, but there never came her like in Mytilene.
If she'll do the deed of darkness, thou wouldst stay.
Your honor knows what 'tis to say well enough.
Well, call forth, call forth.
For flesh and blood, sir, white and red, you shall see a rose. And she were a rose indeed, if she had but...
What, prithee?
Oh, sir, I can be modest.
That dignifies the renown of a bawd, no less than it gives a good report to number but to be chaste.
Exit bolt.
Here comes that which grows to the stalk, never plucked yet, I can assure you.
Re-enter bolt with Marina.
Is she not a fair creature?
Faith, she would serve after a long voyage at sea. Well, there's for you, leave us.
I beseech your honor, give me leave, a word, and I'll have done presently.
I beseech you, do.
First, I would have you note, this is an honorable man. I desire to find him so that I may worthily note him. Next, he's a governor of this country, a man whom I am bound to. If he govern the country, are you bound to him? You are bound to him indeed. But how honorable is he is in that? I know not. Pray you, without any more virginal fencing, will you use him kindly? He will line your apron with gold. What he will do graciously, I will thankfully receive.
How you done?
My lord, she's not paced yet. You must take some pains to work her to your manage. Come, we will leave his honor and her together. Go thy ways.
Exit Bod, Pandora, and Bolt.
Now, pretty one, how long have you been at this trade?
What trade, sir?
Why, I cannot name, but I shall offend.
I cannot be offended with my trade. Please you to name it?
How long have you been of this profession?
Ever since I can remember.
Did you go to it so young? Were you a gamester at 5 or 7?
Earlier too, sir, if I now be one. Now I be one.
Why, the house you dwell in proclaims you to be a creature of sale.
Do you know this house to be a place of such resort, and will come into it? I hear say you are of honorable parts, and are the governor of this place.
Why, hath your principal made known unto you who I am?
Who is my principal?
Why, your herb woman, she that sets seeds and roots of shame and iniquity. Oh, you have heard something of my power, and so stand aloof from more serious wooing. But I protest to thee, pretty one, my authorities shall not see thee, or else look friendly upon thee. Come, bring me to some private place. Come, come.
If you were born to honor, show it now. If put upon you, make the judgment good, that thought you worthy of it.
How's this? Some more, be sage.
For me, that am a maid, though most ungentle fortune have placed me in this sty, where since I came, diseases have been sold dearer than physic. Oh, that the gods would send me free from this unhallowed place, though they did change me to the meanest bird that flies in the pure air.
I did not think thou couldst have spoke so well, ne'er dreamed thou couldst. Had I brought hither a corrupted mind, thy speech had altered it. Hold, here's gold for thee. Persevere in the clear way thou goest, and the gods strengthen thee.
The good gods preserve you.
For me be you thought'n, that I came in with no ill intent. For to me the very doors and windows savor vilely. Fare thee well. Thou art a piece of virtue, and I doubt not but thy training hath been noble. Hold, here's more gold for thee. A curse upon him, die he like a thief, that robs thee of thy goodness. If thou dost hear from me, it shall be for thy good.
Re-enter Bolt.
I beseech your honor, one piece for me.
Avaunt, thou damned doorkeeper. Your house, but for this virgin doth prop it, would sink and overwhelm you. Away.
Exits.
As this. We must take another course with you if your peevish chastity, which is not worth a breakfast in the cheapest country under the cope, shall undo a whole household. Let me be gelded like a spaniel. Come your ways.
Whither would you have me?
I must take your maidenhead off, or the common hangman shall execute it. Come your ways. We'll have no more gentleman-driven way. Come your ways, I say.
Re-enter Bod. This is disgusting.
How now? What's the matter?
Worse and worse, mister. She has spoken holy words to the Lord Lysimachus.
Oh, abominable!
She makes our profession, as it were, to stink afore the face of the gods.
Mary, hang her up forever.
The nobleman would have dealt with her like a nobleman, but she sent him away as cold as a snowball, saying his prayers too.
Bolt, take her away. Use her at thy pleasure. Crack the glass of her virginity and make the rest malleable.
And if she were a thornier piece of ground than she is, she shall be plowed.
Hark, hark, you gods. She conjures, away with her. Would she had never come within my doors. Mary, hang you. She's born to undo us. Will you not go the way of womankind? Mary, come up, my dish of chastity with rosemary and bays.
Exits.
Come, mistress, come your ways with me.
Whither wilt thou have me?
To take from you the jewel you hold so dear.
Prithee, tell me one thing first.
Come now, your one thing.
What canst thou wish thine enemy to be?
Why, I could wish him to be my master, or rather, my mistress.
Neither of these are so bad as thou art, since they do better thee in their command. Thou holdst a place for which the painless fiend of hell would not in reputation change. Thou art the damned doorkeeper to every coistrel that comes inquiring for his tib, to the choleric fisting of every rogue. Thy ear is liable. Thy food is such as hath been belched on by infected lungs.
What would you have me do? Go to the wars, would you? Where a man may serve 7 years for the loss of a leg, and have not money enough to end to buy him a wooden one?
Do anything but this thou dost. Empty old receptacles are common shores of filth, served by indenture to the common hangman. Any of these ways are yet better than this. For what thou professest, a baboon, could he speak, would own a name too dear. The gods would safely deliver me from this place. Here's gold for thee, if that thy master would gain by thee, proclaim that I can sing, weave, sew, and dance with other virtues which I'll keep from boast. And I will undertake all these to teach. I doubt not, but this populous city will yield many scholars.
But can you teach all this you speak of?
Prove that I cannot. Take me home again and prostitute me to the basest groom that doth frequent your house.
Well, I will see what I can do for thee. If I can place thee, I will.
Be amongst honest women.
Faith, my acquaintance lies little amongst them. But since my master and mistress have brought you, there's no going but by their consent. Therefore, I will make them acquainted with your purpose, and I doubt not, but I shall find them traceable enough. Come, I'll do for thee what I can. Come your ways.
Act 5, enter Gower. Here we go. Marina thus the brothel escapes and chances into an honest house. Our story says she sings like one immortal, and she dances as goddess-like to her admired lays. Deep clerk she dumbs, and with her needle composes nature's own shape of bud, bird, branch, or berry. Even her art sister's natural roses, her inkle silk twin with ruby cherry, that pupils lacks she none of noble race, who bore their bounty on her and her grain. And to her father turn our thoughts again, where we left him, on the sea, obviously. We there him lost, when striven before the winds he has arrived. Here where his daughter dwells, and on this coast, suppose him now an anchor. The city is dry. God Neptune's annual feast to keep, from whence Lysimachus, our Tyrian ship espies. His banner sable trimmed with rich expense, and and to him in his barge with fervor highs. In your supposing once more, put your sight of heavy Pericles, think this his bark, where what is done in action more if might shall be discovered. Please you sit and hark. Exits. Scene 1. On board Pericles' ship of Mytilene. A close pavilion on deck with a curtain before it. Pericles within it reclined on a couch. A barge lying beside the Tyrian vessel. Enter two sailors, one belonging to Tyrion's vessel, the other to the barge. To them Helicanus.
Where is Lord Helicanus? He can resolve you. Oh, here he is. Sir, there's a barge put off from the Mytilene, and in it... No. Lysimachus, the governor, who craves to come aboard. What is your will?
That he have this. Call up some gentlemen.
Oh, gentlemen, my lord calls.
Enter three gentlemen. Doth your lordship call?
Gentlemen, there's some of worth would come aboard, I pray ye. Greet them fairly.
I'm sorry. The gentlemen and the two sailors descend and go on board the barge. Enter from thence, that guy, Lysimachus, whatever.
Lysimachus.
Sure. And lords with gentlemen and two sailors.
Sir, this is the man that can, in aught you would, resolve you.
Hail, reverend sir, the gods preserve you.
And you, sir, to outlive the age I am, and die as I would do.
You wish me well. Being on shore, honoring of Neptune's triumphs, seeing this goodly vessel ride before us, I made to it, to know of whence you are.
First, what is your place?
I am the governor of this place you lie before.
Sir, our vessel is of Tyre, in it the king, a man who for this 3 months hath not spoken to anyone, nor taken sustenance, but to prorogue his grief.
Upon what ground is his distemperature?
'Twould be too tedious to repeat, but the main grief springs from the loss of a beloved daughter and a wife.
May we not see him?
You may, but bootless is your sight. He will not speak to any.
Yet let me obtain my wish.
Behold him.
Pericles is discovered.
This was a goodly person, till that disaster that one mortal night drove him to this.
Sir King, all hail, the gods preserve you. Hail, royal sir.
It is in vain. He will not speak to you.
Sir, we have a maid in Mytilene. I durst wager would win some words of him.
'Tis well bethought. She questionless, with her sweet harmony and other chosen attractions would allure, and make a battery through his deafened parts, which now are midway stopped. She is all happy, is the fairest of all, and with her fellow maids is now upon the leafy shelter that abuts against the island side.
Whispers a lord who goes off in the barge of Lysimachus.
Sure, all's effectless, yet nothing will omit that bears recovery's name. But since your kindness we have stretched thus far, let us beseech you that for our gold we may provision have, wherein we are not destitute for want, but weary for the staleness.
O sir, a courtesy, which if we should deny, the most just gods for every graff would send a caterpillar, and so afflict our province. Yet once more let me entreat to know at large the cause of your king's sorrow.
Sit, sir, I will recount it to you, but see, I am prevented.
Re-enter from the barge, lord with Marina and a young lady.
Oh, here is the lady I sent for. Welcome, fair one. Isn't not a goodly presence?
She's a gallant lady.
She's such a one that, were I well assured, came of gentle kind and noble stock. I'd wish no better choice, and think me rarely wed. Fair one, all goodness that consists in bounty expect even here, where is a kingly patient. If that thy prosperous and artificial feet can draw him but to answer thee in aught, thy sacred physic shall receive such pay as thy desires can wish.
Sir, I will use my utmost skill in his recovery, provided that none but I and my companion maid be suffered to come near him.
Come, let us leave her, and the gods make her prosperous.
Marina sings.
Oh.
Mark it here music?
No, nor look it upon us.
See, she will speak to him.
Hail, sir, my lord, lend ear.
Ha.
I am a maid, my lord, that ne'er before invited eyes, but have been gazed on like a comet. She speaks, my lord, that may have endured a grief might equal yours, if both were justly weighed, though wayward fortune did malign my state. My derivation was from ancestors who stood equivalent with mighty kings. But time hath rooted out my parentage unto the world, and awkward casualties bound me in servitude. I will desist, but there is something that glows upon my cheek and whispers in my ear, go not till he speak.
My fortunes, parentage, good parentage, to equal mine. Was it not thus? What say you?
I said, my lord, if you did know my parentage, you would not do me violence.
I do think so. Pray you, turn your eyes upon me. You're like something that, what country woman, here of those shores?
No, nor of any shores. Yet I was mortally brought forth, and am no other than I appear.
I am great with woe, and shall deliver weeping. My dearest wife was like this maid, and such a one my daughter might have been. My queen's square brows, her stature to an inch, as wand-like straight, as silver-voiced, her eyes as jewel-like, and cased as richly, in pace another Juno, who starves the ears she feeds and makes them hungry, the more she gives them speech. Where do you live?
For I am but a stranger. From this deck you may discern the place.
Where were you bred, and how achieved you these endowments, which you make more rich to owe?
If I should tell my history, it would seem like lies disdained in the reporting.
Prithee speak. Falseness cannot come from thee, for thou look'st modest as justice, and thou seem'st a palace for the crowned truth to dwell in. I will believe thee, and make my senses credit thy relation to points that seem impossible, for thou look'st like one I loved indeed. What were thy friends? Didst thou not say, when I did push thee back, which was when I perceived thee, that thou camest from good descending?
Oh, indeed, I did.
Report thy parentage. I think thou saidst thou hadst been tossed from wrong to injury, and thou thoughtst thy griefs might equal mine, if both were opened.
Some such thing, I said, and said no more but what my thoughts did warrant me as likely.
Tell thy story. If thine considered prove the thousandth part of my endurance, thou art a man, and I have suffered like a girl. Yet thou dost look like patience gazing on kings' graves, and smiling extremity out of act. What were thy friends? How lost thou them? Thy name, my most kind virgin, recount, I do beseech thee. Come, sit by me.
My name is Marina.
Oh, I am mocked, and thou by some incensed god sent hither to make the world to laugh at me.
Patience, good sir, or here I'll cease.
Nay, I'll be patient. Thou little knowest how thou dost startle me, to call thyself Marina.
The name was given to me by one that had some power, my father, and a king.
How? A king's daughter, and called Marina?
You said you would believe me, but not to be a troubler of your peace, I will end here.
But are you flesh and blood? Have you a working pulse, and are no fairy? Motion, well, speak on. Where were you born, and wherefore called Marina?
Called Marina, for I was born at sea.
At sea? What mother?
My mother was the daughter of a king who died the minute I was born, as my good nurse Lycordia hath oft delivered weeping.
Oh, stop there a little. This is the rarest dream that e'er dull sleep did mock sad fools withal. This cannot be. My daughter's buried. Well, where were you bred? I'll hear you more, to the bottom of your story, and never interrupt you.
You scorn. Believe me, 'twere best I did give o'er.
I will believe you by the syllable of what you shall deliver, yet give me leave. How came you in these parts? Where were you bred?
The king my father did in Tarsus leave me, till cruel Cleon with his wicked wife did seek to murder me. And having wooed a villain to attempt it, who having drawn to do it, a crew of pirates came and rescued me, brought me to Mytilene. But good sir, whither will you have me? Why do you weep? It may be you think me an impostor. No, good faith, I am the daughter to King Pericles, if good King Pericles be.
Ho, Helicanus!
Pause, my lord.
Thou art a grave and noble counselor, most wise in general. Tell me, if thou canst, what this maid is, or what is like to be, that thus hath made me weep.
I know not, but here is the regent, sir, of Mytilene, speaks nobly of her.
She would never tell her parentage, being demanded that. She would sit still and weep.
O Helicanus, strike me, honored sir. Give me a gash. Put me to present pain, lest this great sea of joys rushing upon me o'erbear the shores of my mortality, and drown me with their sweetness. O come hither, thou that begetst him that did thee beget. Thou that was born at sea, buried at Tarsus, and found at sea again. O Helicanus, down on thy knees, thank the holy gods as loud as thunder threatens us. This is Marina. What was thy mother's name? Tell me but that, for truth can never be confirmed enough, though doubts did ever sleep.
First, sir, I pray, what is your title?
I am Pericles of Tyre, but tell me now, my drowned queen's name, as in the rest you said thou hast been godlike perfect, the heir of kingdoms, and another like to Pericles thy father.
Is it no more to be your daughter than to say my mother's name was Thacia? Thacia was my mother, who did end the minute I began.
Now, blessing on thee, rise, thou art my child. Give me fresh garments, my own Helicanus. She is not dead at Tarsus, as she would have been, by savage Cleon. She shall tell thee all, when thou shalt kneel and justify in knowledge she is thy princess. Who is this?
Sir, 'tis the governor of Mytilene, who, hearing your melancholy state, did come to see you.
I embrace you. Give me my robes. I am wild in my beholding. O heavens bless my girl. But hark, what music! Tell Helicanus, my Marina. Tell him o'er point by point, for yet he seems to doubt how sure you are my daughter. But what music?
My lord, I hear none.
None. The music of the spheres. List, my Marina.
It is not good to cross him. Give him away. Give him way.
Rarest sound, do ye not hear?
My lord, I hear.
Music.
Ah,
Most heavenly music, it nips me unto listening, and thick slumber hangs upon mine eyes. Let me rest.
Sleep.
A pillow for his head, so leave him all. Well, my companion friends, if this but answer to my just belief, I'll well remember you.
Exit all but Pericles. Diana appears to Pericles as a vision, because why not?
My temple stands in Ephesus. Heed thee thither, and do upon my altar sacrifice. There, when my maiden priests are met together, before the people all, reveal how thou at sea didst lose thy wife, to mourn thy crosses with thy daughter's call, and give them repetition to the life. Or perform my bidding, or thou livest in woe. Do it, and happy by my silver bow. Awake, and tell thy dream.
Disappears.
Celestial Diane, goddess Argentine, I will obey thee. Helicanus!
Re-enter Hyrcanus, Lysimachus, and Marina.
Sir,
My purpose was for Tarsus, there to strike the inhospitable Cleon, but I am for other surface first, toward Ephesus. Turn our blown sails, eftsoons I'll tell thee why.
To Lysimachus.
Shall we refresh us, sir, upon your shoe and give you gold for such provision as our intents will need?
Sir, with all my heart. And when you come ashore, I'll have another suit.
You shall prevail. Were it to woo my daughter, for it seems you have been noble towards her.
Sir, lend me your arm.
Come, my Marina.
Exit. Scene 2. Enter Gower before the temple of Diana at Ephesus. Here the fuck we go. Now our sands are almost run, more a little, and then dumb. This my last boon give me, for such kindness must relieve me, that you aptly will suppose what pageantry, what feats, what shows, what minstrelly and pretty din the regent made in Mitylene, to greet the king, so he thrived, that he is promised to be wived, to fair Marina, ew, but in no wise till he had done his sacrifice, as Diane bade, whereto being bound, the interim pray you, all confound. In feathered briefness sails are filled, and wishes fall out as they are willed. At Ephesus the temple see our king and his company, that he can hither come so soon, is by your fancies thankful due. Exit. Scene 3. The temple of Diana at Ephesus, Thasia standing. Near the altar, as high priestess, a number of virgins on each side. Sirmion and other inhabitants of Ephesus attending. Enter Pericles with his train, Lysimachus, Helicanus, Marina, and a lady.
Hail, Diane, to perform thy just command. I here confess myself the king of Tyre, who frighted from my country, did wed at Pentapolis the fair Thasia. At sea in childbed died she, but brought forth a maid-child called Marina, who, O goddess, wears yet thy silver livery. She at Tarsus was nursed with Cleon, who at 14 years he sought to murder. But her better stars brought her to Mytilene, gainst whose shore riding her fortune brought the maid aboard us, where by her own most clear remembrance she made known herself my daughter.
Voice and favor, you are, O royal Pericles.
Faints.
Faints.
What means the nun? She dies. Help, gentlemen.
noble sir, if you had told Diana's altar true, this is your wife.
Reverend Appearer, no. I threw her overboard with these very arms.
Upon this coast, I warrant you.
'Tis most certain.
Look to the lady, oh, she is but overjoyed. Early in the blustering morn, this lady was thrown upon this shore. I opened the coffin, found there rich jewels, recovered her, and placed her here in Diane's temple.
May we see them?
Great sir, they shall be brought to you to my house, whither I invite you. Look, Thasia is recovered.
Oh, let me look. If he be none of mine, my sanctity will to my sense vent to licentious ear, but curve it, spite of seeing. O my lord, are you not Pericles? Like him you spake, like him you are. Did you not name a tempest, a birth, and death?
The voice of dead Thasia.
That Thaisa am I, supposed dead and drowned.
Immortal Diane!
No, now I know you better. When we with tears parted Pentapolis, the king my father gave you such a ring.
Shows a ring.
This, no more you gods. Your present kindness makes my past miseries sports. You shall do well, that on the touching of her lips I may melt and no more be seen. Oh, come, be buried a second time within these arms.
My heart leaps to be gone into my mother's bosom.
Kneels to Thasia.
Look who kneels here, flesh of thy flesh, Thasia, thy burden at the sea, and called Marina, for she was yielded there.
Blessed and mine own.
Hail, madam, and my queen.
I know you not.
You have heard me say, when I did fly from Tyre, I left behind an ancient substitute. Can you remember what I called the man? I have named him oft.
It was Helicanus then.
Still confirmation. Embrace him, dear Thasia. This is he. Now do I long to hear how you were found, how possibly preserved, and who to thank besides the gods for this great miracle.
Lord Carimon, my lord, this man, through whom the gods have shown their power, that can from first to last resolve you.
Reverend sir, the gods can have no mortal officer, more like a god than you. Will you deliver how this dead queen relives?
I will, my lord, beseech you. First, go with me to my house, where shall be shown you all was found with her, how she came place here in the temple, no needful thing omitted.
Pure Diane, bless thee for thy vision. I will offer night oblations to thee. Thasia, this prince, the fair betrothed of your daughter, shall marry her at Pentapolis. And now this ornament makes me look dismal, for I clip to form, and what this 14 years no razor touched, to grace thy marriage day I'll beautify.
Lord Carimon had letters of good credit, sir, my father's dead.
Heavens make a star of him, yet there my queen will celebrate their nuptials, and ourselves will in that kingdom spend our following days. Our son and daughter shall in Tyrus reign. Lord Saramon, we do our longing stay to hear the rest untold. Sir leads the way.
Enter Gower.
And exit everyone else.
We get it. Enter Tychus and his daughter. You have heard of monstrous lust, and due our just reward. Although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue preserved from fell destruction's blast, led on by heaven and ground with joy at last. In Helicanus may you well descry a figure of truth, of faith, of loyalty. In revered Carimon there well appears the worth that learned charity aye wears. For wicked Cleon and his wife, when fame had spread their cursed deed and honored's name, of Pericles to rage the city turn, that him and his they in the palace burn. The gods for murder seemed so content to punish them, although not done but meant. So, on your patience, evermore attending, new joy wait on you. Here our play is end. The end.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
That was a ride.
That was disgusting.
That was a real
disgusting.
time.
Why were there so many plot lines?
It was, and they were all gross.
They were all bad.
They were disgusting. I mean, still better than Henry IV Part 2.
At least it was entertaining.
Yeah, at least that was fun. That was, wow. I feel like I need to get right with the Lord after doing that. I need to find Jesus or something.
But hey, all of our protagonists made it to the end.
I went to a
Yeah.
children's production of this show when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, Austin said that in the chat too, I think. And that's gross.
Why would this be the play out of all of the Shakespeare plays? Why would you choose this one?
I don't know. They gave out little paper like boat hats.
Oh yeah, you were the one. Yeah, like when Bridget and I made the list of what to read when, I'd never heard of this. she was like, "Oh, we'll read Pericles for this month," and I was like, "The fuck."
Well, I had heard it like in passing, but like I didn't know what it was about.
Yeah, all I remembered was like because it was a little kids version. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how
you make incest work for children.
I
Oh
don't know.
no.
They just made it really like bright and colorful with like the boats and the sailors.
I'm disgusted.
Just, hey, look, we're on a boat.
Hey, look at that. Forced prostitution. Look at that. Incest and sex slavery. What else? So yeah, that was
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you to Maggie for being in this production.
We're going to be watching a YouTube version of this because shockingly, there's not a plethora of Pericles.
Let me tell them what year the version we're watching. Yeah, we spent a good half hour trying to find a movie adaptation and could not. So we'll be watching the 1984 stage production of Pericles, and then
it's on YouTube, I believe, for free.
Yeah. And then the Friday after next, we will have our live discussion. And yeah, that was something. At least we broke the Zoom curse.
Yeah.
So
thank you to Elle for watching and reading this play with us.
It's a wild.
And I hope to see you at